ShinRobjira.
What's going on there, friends and neighbors? I am ShinRobjira, and it's been
3 weeks since I've done a figure review.
And the last video I did that was even considered a figure review was a plush toy review, so we're getting back to basics, and I'm doing an alien review, which isn't really back to basics for this channel. Back to basics would mean Godzilla, but that's not until later on. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about the NECA Prometheus Wave 2 Deacon figure. This lovely little figure comes from the movie Prometheus. Prometheus is a movie that was directed by Ridley Scott, and it was meant to answer all the questions we had about the Alien franchise. But in reality, it asked more questions than it answered. It was kind of convoluted in a few areas, but I still personally enjoy this movie, clearly, because I bought the 4-disc collector's edition. And Numi Rapace is just... Anyway, enough about the movie. This slouchy boy is actually my very first NECA figure ever. I originally thought it was my Godzilla 2014 figure, but it turns out it is actually the Deacon. I got this the same year that the movie came out, and that was what, 2012? Yeah, 2012. Yes, this movie came out in 2012. 2 years before Godzilla 2014. So hey, it's my first NECA figure ever, and I'm finally doing a review for it. Woo! So as you saw earlier, this guy has some trouble standing up, and that is because he is kind of standing on his tippy toes. And he comes with the stand and everything, but you kind of have to balance him so he stays in one place. This guy is pretty minimal and pretty bare bones for what is considered a xenomorph. I don't really think this is a part of the main genome of xenomorphs. I think this is just like a really weird antisocial cousin of the xenomorph. And I say antisocial because he was only in one movie, and then he was in a comic series, and then apparently the Deacon morphed into a fleshy mountain in one of the comic series, which apparently is canon. So, yeah. He's a xenomorph-ish. But unlike NECA xenomorph figures, this guy is very, very minimal when it comes to his articulation. Let's just get started. Yeah! So we can go up at the shoulder. We can go around at the shoulder as well. It's a little tough due to the plastic on his shoulder blade over here. We can bend in at the elbow, not too much. We can spin or swoop at the elbow as well. We can spin at the wrist as well, rotation, and it can go up and down a little bit. Second verse, same as the first on the other side. This figure also does feature a bit of an ab crunch. He can go forward about that far, and he can go back about that far as well. He can also do... The Deacon features a decent kick forward, nothing too crazy. He's going to have a very nice bend at the knee and a swivelier. And he has decent ankle movement. Okay, yeah, we got a swivel at the ankle. Can do a little bit of pointing, a little bit of bending, nothing too crazy. So there's a reason why I didn't do the head first. It's because my fingers are sweaty because it's hot down here today, and I actually need pliers to do this. But first, basically what's gonna go on here, the jaw can come out pretty far, like so, and as you can see, the second mouth inside the mouth can open and it can close, like so. And I guess it is here where we will soiree into paint and detail, and as you can see, there is a very obvious base coat of this very weird, murky, navy bluish with some black on here. The black is supposed to signify the blood of the engineer that this guy bursted from. Really beautifully sculpted and painted teeth on this guy, both in his normal mouth and on his lower mouth as well. Taking a look inside of his mouth, there's a very nice little wash going on in there that really just accentuates all the different ribbing going on in his mouth, and you're going to see a lot of fantastic detail there as well. Right. So pretty much on the rest of this figure, you're going to get the same base coat. It's just going to have this very nice black application on it. That black is in all of the crevices and the wrinkles on the body, and it does look very, very nice. I don't think there is an area on this figure that doesn't have its major details accentuated by that wash or that dry brushing. So it's nice. This figure does look nice. It's just, you know, more of the same. You're going to get fantastic detail everywhere on this figure. You're going to get more of that black wash and the black blood paint on him. Everywhere you go on this figure, you can see that NECA shines. He even has toenails on there. That's fantastic. I personally do feel that the Alien franchise is some of NECA's best work that they've ever truly put out. When it comes to paint, when it comes to detail, it just feels very well realized and very well done. Now, as you saw earlier, this guy comes with accessories. And the first accessory is this severed engineer head. Now, this looks fantastic. It looks like I just grabbed this off the screen and shrunk it down for whatever dumb reason, and it looks good. It looks accurate. The paint, the wash, really digging the brown highlights. It absolutely helps to pop the detail on this thing. Everywhere you look, there's some beautiful, beautiful detail, and it is all accentuated by some very nice paint. But if you saw the movie, you know this comes off and it reveals the actual engineer's head, which I still don't like. I don't like that the engineers look like handsome Squidward. But it is what it is. And the detail on this head that was reanimated in the movie does look very, very good. It looks very, very pained. You can get a little zoomy groom on this. You can see that there are sculpted and painted teeth in the mouth. The eyes are jet black. His normal baby blue skin tone is all dirtied up. Ears look great. The nose looks great. The face overall just looks fantastic. That's pretty much it for the engineer head. Now we move on over to Proto Facehugger 1. This is just a little wormy worm with bendy wire in it. As you can see, it bends, and you can get it in all of these crazy little poses. I normally just have this one kind of snaking it up on the ground since, well, there's another worm that comes with this that looks a lot better than this. But despite me saying that the other one looks better, this one does look rather fantastic. A lot of really great details, and it has this very nice, dark, fleshy, pinkish wash to it that goes in all the cracks and just looks fantastic all the way up to its non-bendy wire tail. Even when you turn it around and you can see the obvious bendy wire on the belly over here, there is still fantastic detail. And you can see his little face flap is closed. But moving on over to the other Proto Facehugger worm thing, you can see that his face flap is fully opened, and yet again, the detail in the paint is fantastic. Does look very, very good. Love the strong looking membranes over here. Really reminds me of the original Facehugger egg. And as you can see, the bendy wire is getting a little bit more exposed. Again, this is a figure from 2012 that has been getting its usage from me very, very frequently. Why I've taken this long to make a video on it, I do not know, but again, the paint on this thing is just insane. And surprisingly, the bendy wire down here isn't as exposed as the one at the neck, just because I normally pose him like this, and I kind of, try to give him a bit of a curve in the neck. Yeah. So if you have this lad properly balanced, you will be able to get him up in somewhat of a straight pose. This is as high as I can pose him with somewhat bent legs, but I do have to lean him a little bit forward. Normally I have this guy kind of squatting down like this to avoid him falling or anything like that. Because personally, you see him in the movie, he does his little mouth gangle thing, and that's pretty much it. You really don't see the Deacon do too much except burst out of the chest, be born and all that stuff, and then he does his thing. So I guess now we can transition into a size comparison. So here is our religious alien boy next to the Prometheus 4-disc collector's edition Blu-ray thing that I've shown off already. Here he is next to a set of pliers, needle nose pliers. Here he is next to, correct me if I'm wrong, the Funko Reaction Xenomorph figure. And here he is next to the NECA Neomorph figure, which I will be doing a re-review of eventually. You'll see more comparisons with the Neomorph in the pictures to follow. So overall, I really do enjoy this figure. I'm happy to call it my very first NECA figure of all time, and I really don't have any problems with this thing. It's a very minimal Xenomorph build, obviously. He doesn't have the tubes, he doesn't have most of the crazy articulation, but it is a very good representation of the Deacon character. I actually love the fact that this thing is called a Deacon, because I do believe in religious terms, deacons come before priests, and since this isn't a full-on Xenomorph, they call him the Deacon, and you get where I'm coming from? I do wish I had gotten more of the Prometheus line while it was still in stores, but to be completely honest, the only other character that I was interested in really getting was Numi Rapace's character. I hope I'm saying her last name right. I probably am not. And maybe the engineer with the trilobite, which was the gigantic facehugger. But other than that, it's a fantastic figure with some fantastic paint and detail, very average articulation, very well stacked on the accessories, I personally feel. And yeah, no problems here. I have been ShinRobjira. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I will be back again next Friday with another figure review, and I I hope you enjoyed this one. I apologize for taking so long to come out with another figure review. It's just been hectic over here, and just when it feels like it's going to calm down, it just gets worse. So thank you for being so patient, and thank you all for being so cool. So until next Friday, well, Monday technically, I will see you all then and there. Bye, everybody.
Booty.